How to create new pages. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a new page. And pages are different compared to posts, where posts are more for blog posts, where pages are more for static pages which are more permanent. So if you want to feature a section called About Us or About Me, then you can create that page. And when anyone wants to find out more about your company or about you, they can simply click on About Me or About Us to find out more. So to create a new page, log into your WordPress dashboard and you'll see a section called Pages. What you want to do is add a new page. Now let's create an About Me page or About Us. I'll just keep it simple and type in About. Now we can insert our text. So I've put in a few lines of text here, and once I've finished, I can simply click Publish. Now if I go back to my blog and refresh, there's a new section or page called About. If I click on that, there's my new page. So that's how to create a new page. What to blog about. Blogging might not come easy if you run out of content or things to say. This video will guide you on the types of content that can be posted on your blog. The first type of content is a top list. You can compile a list of 5, 7, 10 or more things that are related to your niche. So if you're in the music niche, you could write about the top 10 songs of November. If you're in the weight loss niche, you could write about the top 7 ways to lose weight, and so on. The next type of content is a how-to or tutorial. This essentially is a guide on how to do something. An example would be how to lose 10 pounds in 7 days. The next type of content is resources. You could write a list of resources that are related to your niche. So let's say you're in the productivity niche. You could write a list of productivity tools which will help people get things done. The next type of content is promotional. You could directly promote your own product, service, or other people's products in your blog post. Bear in mind though, a blog is really to establish relationships and build your credibility. A safer way is to soft sell, where you don't directly promote it, but instead talk about the product, which is the next type of content, a review. You could review pretty much any product or service related to your niche. You could critique a product and give feedback about a product, so those who read your review can see your recommendations. Next is news. It doesn't matter which niche you're in, there's always going to be news. So you can really act as a reporter and post news. Next, case studies. You could write a case study about someone who's had success using a product or service, such as someone who started with nothing and is making millions online. This could be a good case study since people are curious to know how it all started. Next is frequently asked questions. You could take the questions from your readers or subscribers and then post the answers on your blog. This is a great way to produce content. Next, you could survey your readers and subscribers on your blog. This method is quite simple. You just ask various questions and they will answer it in the comments section, giving you direct feedback. Next, photos. You could post photos related to your niche. If you're in the motivational and self-help niche, then you post something that is inspirational. Videos. You could create a tutorial or a video of yourself talking about a certain subject or topic, and then post it on your blog. This is a great way to establish credibility and build rapport, since your readers are able to see you. Lastly, interviews. The interviews can either be text or video or audio. So you could write a set of questions and get the gurus in your industry to answer it, and then you post it on your blog. So those are several ideas to produce blog post content. How to track your blog and gain insightful analytics. If you want to find out how much traffic you're actually getting to your blog, you need to track it. And to track it, you can use a special plugin which records the details of your visitors. To do so, log into WordPress and then go to Add New under Plugins. In the search box, search for WhatsUp and then click Search Plugins. As it shows in the description, WhatsUp is a WordPress plugin to track your visitors in real time. It has a very readable and fancy admin console to keep track of your visitors that gives you a detailed view into almost everything your visitors are doing on your site. I'm going to install it. Click OK here. And activate the plugin. As you'll see on the left side, here's the new plugin. It's called WhatsUp. You won't gain any details straight away because you need to wait for the system to collect the information. Once it does, you can simply click on this Visitor Details. And then you can sort it by details for the last 24 hours, last 1 hour, 6 hours, 7 days, 2 weeks, 1 month, and so on. And as you can see, there's been one visit, which was me as an admin. On the right, you can also filter the items by everything, spider, no spider, spam, no spam, and so on. To get a more accurate report, I will choose no spam and no spider. And this will give you a true measure of how many visitors you're actually getting. So that's the WhatsUp plugin, which will help you track your visitors. How to create a new blog post. The first thing you want to do is log into your WordPress dashboard. Under Post, you can click Add New. So this is where you write your new blog post. So this is my example blog post. The next thing I will do is choose a category. If you haven't created the categories that you need, you can always create it using the Add New Category link here. And then I will type in a category. And click Add New Category. And you can see now it's selected. So this blog post will fall under golf tips. Once you're happy with your blog post, you can either save the draft, preview it, or publish it. So I've published mine, and now I can view the post. And this is what it looks like. So in my categories section here, you can see golf tips. If I click golf tips category, you can see all the blog posts which are related to golf tips. If I click on all posts, I can see all the blog posts which I've created. How to set up name servers to point your domain name to your web host. Now the reason why you want to do this step is so that you can link your newly registered domain name to your web host. Now to do that, simply log into your Namecheap account, your domain registrar, and then go to Domains and Manage Domains, and you'll see a dashboard like this. Now click on the domain name you just registered and go to Domain Name Server Setup. This is where you want to enter your 2 name server addresses provided by your web host. If you're unsure what your name server addresses are, simply contact your web host and request for your name servers. It should have been set together with your web hosting details. So what you want to do is click on Specify Custom DNS Servers and then enter the 2 name servers provided by your web host and save changes. So now it should start propagating and your domain name will be linked to your web host. How to customize your WordPress dashboard. When you first log in, you'll see your dashboard. Now this is the main area and default page when you first log in. To customize and control what you see in your dashboard, simply look at the top right hand corner for screen options. You can select and deselect the options you'd like. So if I'd like a more cleaner look and less options, then I would only select the necessary and required options here. So I don't want the quick press, so I would deselect quick press. I don't want the recent drafts. I don't want news from the WordPress blog. I don't want other WordPress news. I can also choose a number of columns, 1, 2, 3, or 4. If I select 1, you can see that it spreads out to just 1 column. I'll switch it back to 2 for this example. I can also drag the windows and boxes. So now I've customized my dashboard. How to install plugins. Plugins basically enhance your WordPress blog with more features, tools, and options to give it more flexibility. There's a range of plugins you can install, such as plugins which optimize your blog for search engines, and plugins which make your blog more user-friendly. So to install plugins, all you need to do is log into your WordPress dashboard, click on Plugins, and in here you can see activated and deactivated plugins currently installed. To search for a new plugin, simply click Add New. If you know what type of plugin you need, simply do a search here. Or if you'd like to browse, you can click the featured, popular, newest, or recently updated sections. If you've downloaded a plugin, you can upload it directly using the upload tool. In this case, I know which plugin I need, and it's called the All-in-One SEO Pack, and search plugins. And now we can see the results here. The plugin I need is called All-in-One SEO Pack. I'm going to click install now. And now it's asking me, are you sure you want to install this plugin? I'm going to simply click OK. And now it's downloaded, unpacked, and installed the plugin successfully. All I need to do is activate the plugin. So now it's activated. Some plugins require you to customize the options, so all you need to do is follow the prompts and any messages which appear on top, such as this section here. So that's how to install plugins. How to add and edit users to your blog. You can control the permissions of users in your WordPress blog. To do so, go to your WordPress dashboard and you'll see a section called Users. You can view all users by clicking All Users. Currently there's just one user. Let's say I want to add an editor or a writer to the blog. All I need to do is add a new user, enter a username, an email, and fill in the rest of the details including the password. You can also send the password to this user. This section called Role gives access levels to the user. In this drop-down menu, you've got subscriber, administrator, editor, author, and contributor. A subscriber is only allowed to read your blog posts and pages. An administrator has full control over the blog. An editor can edit blog posts and pages. And an author can write new blog posts. And lastly, a contributor can add to a current blog post. So I'm going to give this user an author role and simply click Add New User. And now I'm done. I can easily edit users by clicking Edit under the name. So if I want to give this user a new role, such as an administrator, I can do so and click Update User. And that's it. How to add an image to a blog post or page. Under the Post section, select your post. I'm going to edit this blog post. And I want to add an image in between these lines here. At the top of the editor, you'll see Upload Insert. What you want to do is add an image, which is this little icon here. It'll bring up the image tool. Now you have several options here. You can select from your computer, you can select from a URL, your gallery, or media library. For this example, I'm going to select it from my hard drive. So this is the image I want to insert. Click Open. And now it's uploading, and now it's finished. I can name this image and an alternate text. And now you can also link the image to a URL. I don't want the link to go to the image again, so I'll just remove this. You can also align the image the way you want. We can select left, center, right, or none. I'm going to select center. And then choose a size. The full size image, large, medium, or thumbnail version. I'm going to select the full size. What you want to do next is not click Save All Changes, but instead insert into Post. And now you can see it's inserted. If I click Update, it should update the blog post with the image. And now let's view the post. And now you can see the image centered here. We can also edit the image once it's in place. Simply click on the image once and you'll see this option here called Edit Image. This will bring the image settings. And now I can change the size of the image as well using this here. I can also go to Advanced Settings where I can add a border and spacing and all these other advanced settings. So that's how to add an image to a blog post or page. The same steps apply when you want to add a new image to a page. How to create and use custom menus. Custom menus gives you the ability to create your own menus based on whatever pages and links you want in your actual menu. If we take a look at this example blog, you can see at the top here, this is the menu. We can customize it using the WordPress custom menus. In your WordPress dashboard, under Appearance, you can see an option called Menus. Click on Menus, and this is the interface that you see. To create a new menu, Let's begin by entering a menu name. I'll call mine Main Menu, and then click Create Menu. The next part is to select menu items such as pages, categories, and links. On the left side here, you'll see custom links, pages, and categories that you can add to your menu. Let's first add pages. I'm going to select the Contact Us page and also the About page, and then click Add to Menu. And as you can see, it's now in the main menu. I can save the menu now. The next thing you want to do now is make sure that your primary navigation is now using your new custom menu. And then click Save. If I go back to my blog, you can see now the new menu. If I want to arrange it in a different way, I can do so by simply dragging the items accordingly. If I want the About link to be before the Contact Us link, then I simply drag it on top and then save the menu. Now if I refresh, you can see now it's changed over. I can also add direct links. Let's put in an example here. So on the custom links, this is where I entered my URL. Then entering a label. This is going to be called Google, and then add to the menu. And as you can see, it's now here. I'm going to save the menu. If I refresh my blog, you can see the new tab here, which goes to google.com. If I want to delete a menu, I can simply just click the Delete Menu button here. Please be aware that some themes do not support menus. However, most of the pre-installed WordPress themes support menus. How to access your WordPress blog as an administrator. To control and customize your WordPress blog, you need to enter the control panel, which is located at yourdomainname.com/WP admin. Or if you installed your blog in a directory, you simply add your directory, such as blog/WP-admin. But in this case, I installed it directly in the domain name. So now I need to log in, and I'm now in the WordPress dashboard where I can start customizing and adding new blog posts. How to add and edit links. If you take a look at this example, you'll see the blog role. These are the default WordPress links. Now to change all these links or delete them, simply go to your WordPress dashboard, go to the links section, and let's go to all links. We don't need any of these links. We want to feature our own links. So what I would do is select all, and let's delete all of them. The first thing I want to do is go to link categories. I don't want to call my category blog role. As you can see, blog role. I want to call it resources. So what I would do is add a new category called resources. Now I add new link category, and now you can see it here. Now I would add a new link and call this link Top Golf Resources, and then enter a web address. The description is not necessary, and then select the category you want it to be placed in. I just created resources. I'm going to click resources. Now you can add the target. Blank will open in a new tab, top will open in the current window or tab with no frames, and none will open it in the same window. I would recommend you open it in the new window. We don't need any of these options, so we're just going to scroll back on top and click Add Link. So now it says link added. If I refresh my blog, you'll see the link section here, and here's my link, Top Golf Resources. That's a clickable link, which goes to the website I specified when I added a new link. If you don't see the link section on your blog, that means that you haven't activated the links. To do so, go to Appearance, go to Widgets, and make sure that the links widget is added in one of these widget areas. If you don't see it, then you'll see available widgets on the left side here, and then you simply drag it to the area you'd like. How to install and configure the all-in-one SEO pack. First things first, make sure you're logged into your WordPress dashboard. Next, go to the plugin section and then click on Add New. In the search box, search for all-in-one SEO and then search plugins. You need to find all-in-one SEO pack. This is the one to install, so I'm going to click Install now. click OK, and it should install. Now I click Activate Plugin, and now the plugin is activated. Now you're going to get this message here, which says All-in-One SEO Pack must be configured. So I'm going to click Go to the admin page, this link here. This is where you configure the All-in-One SEO Pack. Scrolling down, you've got plugin status. Make sure you enable it first. So once I've enabled it, the next thing I want to do is fill in these fields here: home title, home description, and home keywords. Just for your information, I did a search on Google for golf tips, which is what I'm targeting. And I want to explain what each of these fields are. As you can see, the home title is what you see here: Golf Tips, the most in-depth guide to instructions and then you've got the home description, which is the description here. The keywords aren't displayed here, but it's what you're targeting and it's what search engines crawl and will find. So it's a good idea to place your target keywords here. So let's start. For this blog, my blog's called Golf Tips. So I'm going to put in the home title, Golf Tips. It's a good idea to make sure that your keywords are also included in the title. Because I'm targeting golf tips, and my blog is called Golf Tips, it's already in there. But if, in your case, your blog is called something else and not including your keywords, then you simply add it together with your title. In the home description, as I mentioned, is basically what you see here. So again, you want to include your keyword here together with your description. So I've put in a blog dedicated to providing golf tips, and as you can see, I've included my key phrase there. And I've also included get free articles, videos, tutorials, and more. In the home keywords, I would put in my keywords or key phrases here. So I've put in golf tips, improved golf swing, golf blog, and golf articles. Moving forward, we've got all these other options here. We're going to simply ignore it and just update options. And now it's been updated. When I go to my blog now, you can see from the home title, it now uses the All-in-One SEO Pack's settings. So the All-in-One SEO Pack is the fastest and easiest way to make your blog more search engine friendly. How to update WordPress to the latest version. When you log into your WordPress blog, you'll see whether you need to update your blog or not. You can see by the message on top here. And there's a link to update now. So I'm going to update this blog now. I'm going to choose update automatically. And now it's in the process of upgrading. And that's all there is to it. So if I go back to the dashboard, you'll see that the message has disappeared. This means that you're using the latest version of WordPress. How to configure Akismet to prevent comment spam. When you log into your blog, where you need to go is to the plugin section and then go to the installed plugins. By default, WordPress already has the Akismet plugin installed. All you need to do is activate it. So click activate. And what you need to do next is to enter your Akismet API key. Now to get an Akismet API key, simply click on this link here and you'll be taken to the Akismet website. Follow the registration process and you'll be given a unique key. You'll then need to enter your key into this empty field here. You can then check whether you want to auto-delete spam submitted on posts more than a month old. And you can also show the number of comments you've approved beside each comment author. And then simply update options. Your blog should now be protected from comment spam, and you're all done now. How to configure permalinks to make your blog more search engine friendly. When you log into your WordPress dashboard, go to Settings. There should be a drop-down menu, and you'll see an option called Permalinks. Click on that, and by default, this is the permalink structure it uses. By changing the default permalink to a custom structure, your blog will be more search engine friendly. So select custom structure, and what you want to do is put a / post name %. So now all your posts and pages will be named according to your post name or page name, making it more search engine friendly than what it was by default. I would then click Save Changes, and now my permalink structure has been updated. That's all there is to it. Web hosting. The reason why you need web hosting is to store your website files and images. To get started, go to hostgator.com. This is a very popular choice for web hosting and reasonably priced. So to register for web hosting, simply click Web Hosting and choose a plan. You've got your Hatchling plan, Baby plan, and Business plan. The difference is the Hatchling plan only allows one single domain name, meaning you can only host one www.yourdomainname.com. As a long-term strategy, you want to register for a plan which allows unlimited domain names, giving you potential to host unlimited domains. The next plan above, the Business plan, allows unlimited domain names with the added private IP and SSL certificate. This is more advanced. It's best to stick to the Baby plan, which will give you more value for money and all the necessities to host your websites. To register, simply click Order Now, and you'll see this, choose a domain name. If you've already registered a domain name, simply enter your domain name in I currently have a domain name and enter it in this field, and then continue to step 2. If you want to register for a domain name using HostGator, you can enter your choice of domain name here. The rest of the steps are quite self-explanatory. Simply fill in the form and your web hosting account should be created within minutes. How to add a contact form. With any site, you want your customers or readers to be able to contact you. And as you can see, this blog example has no Contact Us form. So to add one, we need to install a plugin. The first thing you want to do is log into your WordPress blog. Inside, go to Plugins and go to Add New. And what you want to search for is Fast Secure Contact Form. This is the particular plugin you need to add a contact form. There are other plugins you can use, but this one's very simple and easy to install. So once you've searched, you'll find a Fast Secure Contact Form. Simply install now. Press OK. And now you can activate the plugin. You can see now a Fast Secure Contact Form is in the installed plugins. What we need to do next is go to FS Contact Form Options. Here are the options. You can customize the form using these fields here. The most important is the email address. So when someone submits the query using your contact form, this is the email address that it'll send to. So make sure this email address is correct. There are other options here you can customize. Just take a look at them and see what you like. Once you've finished customizing, make sure you save it. And then the next thing is to copy this shortcode here. As you can see, SI contact form equals 1. I'm just going to copy that. And what we need to do next is go to Pages. We need to create a new page called Contact Us. So I'm going to call this Contact Us. And the next thing you want to do in this field here, make sure you've selected HTML view instead of visual so you can insert the code. Next, we can just publish. We can now view the page. And as you can see, the Contact Us is now featured on our navigation bar here. And this is the Contact Us page. And that's all there is to it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install WordPress on your new domain name. So the first step is to access your web hosting control panel. And to do that, you simply type in your domain name /cpanel. And once you're in, you simply log in. And you need to look for a tool called Fantastica Deluxe. Inside you'll find WordPress. So simply click on WordPress. And you want to do a new installation. The first field is install in a directory. So for example, if you want your blog installed at yourdomainname.com/blog, then you simply put in blog. But in most cases, you want your blog installed in the main domain name, which is the most typical. So in this case, I'll leave it blank. Then you want to add a username and password, followed by your name, and an email address, and your site name. In this case, I'll just choose and a description. And simply click on Install WordPress. Click on Finish Installation. And your blog is now installed. Now to see if it's installed, simply go to your main domain name or wherever your blog was installed. So if it was installed in /blog, then you put in yourdomain.com/yourblog. As you can see, the blog is now set up. And next you want to customize your blog. How to change the theme of your WordPress blog. Changing the theme of your WordPress blog is the easiest and fastest way to give your WordPress blog a new look and feel. To do so, log into your WordPress blog, go to the Appearance section, and then to the Themes. Go to the Install Themes section, and now you can search for themes according to keyword, author, or tag. For this example, I'm just going to go to Featured section, and I can look around to see which theme I like. You can easily preview each theme by clicking on Preview. And this is just an example of how your blog would look like. So let's say I'm happy with this theme here. I can simply click Install. And then click Install Now. And now it's successfully installed. I can activate this theme or I can preview it. Let's activate it. Most themes have its own options, such as this one here. This is a way to customize the look and feel. If I refresh my blog, you can see the changes take effect. To change your theme, you can go back to your Themes section and activate any other installed themes. So let's say I want to revert back to the 2010 theme. I simply click Activate under the 2010 theme. And now it's activated. When I enter my blog, you'll see the changes take effect. So that's how to quickly and easily change a theme of your WordPress blog. Alright, in this tutorial I'll show you how to register a domain name. First you need to go to Namecheap.com. Namecheap is a very well trusted and reliable domain registrar, and they host thousands of domain names, so you can be rest assured that your domain name will be fine. So what you need to do first is go to Namecheap.com and then enter in the domain name of your choice in this field here. So I'm going to put in mine, which is just a example, yourchoiceofdomainname.com. You can choose the extension. For this purpose, I'll choose a .com, which is the most common. I would highly recommend you either choose a .com. If the .com isn't available, you can choose a .net or .org. I don't recommend any other extensions as it's not quite as search engine friendly as a .com, .net or .org. So stick to .coms, .net or .org. Simply do a search and check if it's available. If it's available, then you can register it straight away. And as you can see, it's available and you can add to cart. Now, if it's not available, you don't need to worry. You can either choose a .net or .org, or you can choose a different domain name. So you can change it around in different variations of your choice. So if you want to go ahead and register your domain name, simply add to cart and follow these steps here. So I would simply go to Express Checkout and then simply fill in the form and make your purchase. This will guarantee you'll secure the domain name of your choice. So that concludes this video. How to use widgets. WordPress has a tool called widgets. Widgets are an easy way to lay out your blog the way you want. So let me show you an example. What you see on the right here is controlled by the widgets tool. So I can remove any of these sections if I'd like. To find the widget section, go to Appearance, and you'll see a section called Widgets. So on your right, you'll see the primary widget area. Now this section here depends entirely on your WordPress theme. Some themes will have less widget areas and some will have more. With this default WordPress theme, I've got 6 areas which I can customize. The primary widget area is basically the area on the right that you see here. So let's say I want to remove the search box, which is located here. All I need to do is drag this out of the primary widget area. And you can see now it's disappeared. Now if I refresh, you see that the search box has disappeared. Let's say for instance I want to add the links widget. All I need to do is drag it and place it wherever I want. Now you're not limited to just placing it at the bottom. You can place it anywhere you want. Let's say at the top. It automatically saves for you, so there's no need to click any save buttons. If I click refresh, you can see the links now. You can also customize the title of each widget. So recent posts is currently called recent post. If I simply want to call it post, I type in post and save. Now when I click refresh, you can see now that it changed to posts. So you can easily play around and customize your blog using widgets. How to format a blog post. To format a blog post, simply go to your post section and selecting your blog post that you want to edit. The first thing you want to make sure you do is click on the visual editor, which will give you these options here. The first thing I want to do is make the first line of text bold. So I would highlight what I want and then clicking on bold. And as you can see, it's now emphasized using bolding. If I want to make a word italic, I can just select it and click italic. There's also more options if you click on this tool here, show hide kitchen sink. So if I want to underline a word or phrase, I can just highlight it, click on underline, and you can see the underline. If I want to change the color of some text, I will just highlight it and choose my color. If I want to make a list, I will just highlight the text I want and then either click unordered list or ordered list. An ordered list will give it numbers. Once you're done, you simply click update. If I click on view post, I can see the changes take effect, like so. So those are the basics of formatting a blog post. How to create and manage categories. Categories are a way to organize your blog posts into different sections and different topics. To create new categories, simply log into your WordPress blog and go to the post section, and you'll see a section called categories. In this example, I'm using the golf tips niche. So some example categories I could use are golf videos, golf articles, golf how-tos, how to improve your golf swing, and more. So let's put in golf videos. So I'm going to put golf videos as one of the categories for this blog. So any new blog posts I put related to golf videos would go under golf videos category. I can leave out the slug. It will automatically create a slug for me, which will be a URL friendly version of the name. This helps with optimizing your pages and posts for search engines. For parent, I can leave it to none since this will be a main category, and I can simply click add new category. Now, if I want to add a subcategory under golf videos, I can simply enter it in. So I'm going to use golf swing as a subcategory of golf videos and choose golf videos as a parent. So if I have any golf videos related to golf swing, they will fall under that, and I add new category. So now you can see that there's a dash, meaning that it's a subcategory of golf videos. How to back up your blog. To back up your blog, you need to install a special plugin. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're logged into your WordPress dashboard. Next, go to Add New. In the search field, type in WP DB Manager and search plugins. There are of course other plugins you can select, but WP DB Manager is one of the well-known ones. So in this list, it's called WP DB Manager, and then click Install Now. Click OK. And now it's installed. Simply activate the plugin. And now it's activated. On the left side, you'll see a new settings area here called Database. To back up your database, simply go to Backup DB. And you can see down the bottom here, a button called Backup. So to back up your database, simply click Backup. And you can see that your database has been backed up successfully. There are other options here which you can use, such as Manage Backups, Optimize your database, Repair your database, Empty drop tables, but you won't need to touch any of these settings. In Manage Backup Database, you'll see a list of backups that you've made. You can always restore and delete your backups. And there's an option to email the database to your email address. So that's how to back up your blog.
Selling your photos on stock photography websites is great. However, there is a lot of competition and it is harder to make money nowadays than it is in the past. So one thing I like to tell people who are involved in stock photography, if they want to take their business to the next level, is to start their own website and just sell photos from your own website. And what I like about being in control, having your own website and selling your photos from your own website, is that you can collect the emails of your customers and people who visit your website. And basically, whenever you have new photos, you can notify your list of subscribers. You could also offer deals from time to time. You see, when you have an email list, you could just email them whenever you're in need of some cash flow. Now, what I recommend you do is, if you are going to start your own website, is to make your website focused on one niche. I know of somebody who made $4,000 in 1 month from his own site. Now, aside from just collecting emails from your customers, you could also collect emails from people who just visit your website. And to entice them to opt in, you can run a contest where if they enter their information, such as their email and their name, they'll be entered to win a photo or a print. Another great thing about building a list of subscribers is that you can build a relationship with your audience and that you're going to get repeat sales in the future. You see, when people buy your photos from stock photography websites, you don't collect their information. So it's not like you could tap their shoulder in the future and say, hey, would you like any of my other photos or my newest photos? This way, with your own website, you could just notify them, like I said earlier, whenever you have new photos or if you have a discount that you're offering. You should also sell prints of your photos from your own website to increase your revenues. Now, if you're scared to start your own website, there are several tools out there that make it very easy for you. And one tool that I highly recommend is called Shopify. One good feature of Shopify is that they will contact somebody who abandoned their shopping cart and they'll get reminded to purchase from you. And there's all types of themes available for you to use from Shopify. Now, once you have your site up and running, you could use Facebook ads to drive traffic to your site. Now that you've taken some pictures, where do you sell those pictures online? Well, the easiest way to find these sites is just to type in stock photos on Google, and you'll find plenty of stock photography websites where you can upload your photos. Now, let me just give you some of the top sites out there. Okay, there is Pond5, which pays 50% of the sale. Alamy, which pays 40% royalty per photo. And there is one photographer that I know of who makes $100,000 per year from just this one website. Okay, and there is iYeem, which pays 50%. A lot of photographers are having success with this site. And there is Getty, which pays 20 to 30%, but they do sell photos for a much higher price, between $300 to $500. Okay, and 123RF, this stock photo site, the way they work is that the more photos you upload, the higher the royalty percentage that they'll pay you. And there's iStock, which pays 15 to 45% depending on the photo, but they'll pay you a higher rate if your photos are exclusive to their site. And there's DreamsTime, which has a very thorough approval process, but if you do get approved, they'll pay you 25 to 50% royalty and up to 60% if your photos are exclusive with their site. Plus, they'll even pay you an extra 20 cents per photo. And then one of the biggest stock photography websites out there is Shutterstock. They'll give you the most exposure because of their reach, huge customer base, and ability to advertise your photos. And there's Adobe, which will give you almost as much sales but higher sales amounts. And Adobe stock is integrated into the Adobe software. There's iStock Getty Images, which can also get you a lot of sales. Now, what I usually do advise to photographers is to stay away from some of the larger stock agencies such as Shutterstock, iStock, etc. because they're publicly held companies, and they're more interested in making their shareholders happy and not the individual contributors. They just don't have the incentive to help contributors grow and make more money. However, if you are a beginner, you may want to try out these larger stock agencies just to test out the waters and to gain experience at first. And then you could try out the smaller agencies such as Dreamstime, Stockfresh, etc. The advantage of working with these smaller agencies is that there's less competition for you as a contributor. But then again, everybody is different, so you have to figure out what works for you. And interestingly, I know of somebody who makes more money uploading to free stock photo sites like Pixabay than other stock photo sites, because people have the option to donate to you when they download your photos for free. In the previous video where I spoke about where to sell your photos online, I forgot to mention that you could also sell your photos directly from your phone, and there are a few apps available for that, but the most popular photo app right now is one called Foap. And with Foap, you download it, and I believe it's available both for the Android and the iPhone, and you get 50% of the sale. But you can make more money by joining what they call missions on Foap, and these missions are sort of like projects for brands and other companies. And each mission, if you are to win these missions, they pay a prize for the winning people, and it usually starts at around $50, and usually it can be a lot higher. Okay, now if you want to have success with this app, you want to analyze the photos which have already been sold. So take a look at the sold tab in the explore section of the app. I also recommend that you analyze the profiles of people who have won missions or sold a lot of photos, as they usually have a lot of good photos which can give you ideas. And lastly, you could create a profile on Foap and follow people, so you can follow other photographers and they could follow you, and you guys could share tips with each other and be more successful in the long run. Taking pictures and selling them is not only a great way to make money, but it's also very fun to do. In this video series, I'm going to be talking about stock photography online. And so this is where you upload your photos to stock photography agencies and their websites, and then you would get paid a commission or royalty whenever somebody purchases your pictures from these websites. And stock photography is never going away and will always be in demand. Although I must warn you, it is harder to make money selling photos nowadays than it is before, say a few years ago, because of the competition. However, there are people who are making 6 figures per year with stock photography. And this video series was created to help you rise above your competition. Lastly, I just want to say that stock photography is a great learning experience, and you're going to become a much greater photographer because of it. It's also satisfying when you see companies using your work and knowing that your work has value. And like I said earlier, it's fun. Earlier, I mentioned that you should try to avoid large stock photography websites such as Shutterstock. However, if you're new and you want to gain some experience, or for whatever reason, if you feel that large stock photography websites are for you, here are some keys to success. Obviously, these big sites have thousands of photos, and photos that have less saturation will sell the best. For example, pictures of cats, unless there's something unique about the picture, won't do as well as pictures of animals in the wild. Another example is pictures of iconic buildings such as the White House. These types of pictures won't do as well because there's already a lot of pictures of the White House out there. Now, however, if there's something unique such as an event or a protest happening around there, and you capture that on photo, then that picture will do a lot better. It's also important to use the right keywords. For example, if you're posting photos of flowers, you'll be more successful if you know the exact scientific name and the species of those flowers, and also the English name, where they're from, and other details. And from what I've seen, the best-selling images are the ones with themes such as Christmas, Halloween, Easter, etc. And new images usually sell better than old images, simply because old images tend to get buried in the search results. In the last video, I gave some tips on how to be successful if you were to upload to those larger stock photography websites. Now in this video, I want to give some tips on how to be successful just in general. So these tips will work whether you decide to go for the smaller stock photography websites or the larger stock photography websites. To start off with, you cannot be a generic photographer and make money with stock photography. To be successful, you have to niche down. You cannot be too broad. So you have to be very specific and also good at what you do. For example, portraits of people are always popular. So if you can focus on that, you'll probably do well. You should also stay in tune with what's going on in the world. People who are talking about the popular topics of today need images to support what they're saying. And if you are going to be uploading to multiple stock photography websites, you can use an app called MicroStalker for tracking your sales across multiple agencies. And lastly, if you're consistent, you'll increase your chances of being successful with stock photography. You'll do best if you upload a small amount of photos consistently. Now here are some quick photo tips for you. Only high quality photos are going to be accepted into stock photo sites. So if you want to have high quality photos, you need a high quality gear. So I highly recommend that you use a DSLR camera, and a plain 50mm lens is just fine. Now you're going to want to try to take pictures that are difficult for regular people to take with their smartphones. And if you are going to be using DSLR cameras, try modifying your shutter speed and try to play around with it. For example, you could try taking long exposure photos. Long exposure photos tend to sell more. When you're taking these pictures, make sure that there's a concept behind the photo. You have to try to capture photos with intention, and also try to make your photos socially relevant. Another important key is to make sure that your picture elicits some type of emotion or has some type of purpose, such as showing that it's the fall season. Now, photos that do well are in the niches related to food, health, beauty, fitness, money, and business. You also have to remember to leave some room for copy and text for the users to put on the photo. And you should know that photos are not going to be accepted if there are brands, names, or license plates in the background. And if you have models in your photos, they will have to sign a release form.